You know who you are?
Steven is my name.
Even Steven.
Will you say something, Steven?
Event Orr Else Media.
Here it is, folks. Scratch your head and make your bed. It's time for Event Orr Else, the podcast where I go through most every major Marvel and DC event, one issue at a time, so you don't have to. I'm your host. My name is Steven, and I'm here to tell you what you can expect from the show and what's coming up in Season 1. First off, I meant what I said. I will be reading most every major Marvel and DC event, and then I'm going to talk about them, one issue at a time, one episode at a time, and each event will be given its own season. Unfortunately, I'm not able to read all of the events, but that's only because I'm reading them digitally through their respective apps, and not all of the events have been digitized, but I'm holding out hope that we'll get them all eventually. Season 1, which starts just next week, kicks off with what most people agree is the event that started it all, Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars. This event was published by Marvel Comics. It ran from May of 1984 to April of 1985, and near as I can tell, has about 34 tie-in issues, some of which weren't even published until 30 years after the event itself. But here's the thing, folks. This show ain't about the tie-ins. I mean, reading through all of the event issues alone may be enough to drive me more than a little insane. Reading all the tie-in issues as well? Good Lord, that might just kill me. And frankly, while we're at it, I should probably define what I mean by event. Basically, I'm focusing on the line-wide events like Secret Wars, Crisis on Infinite Earths, Civil War, and Infinite Crisis. In other words, I won't be reading any events focused on a particular title, like X-Men Age of Apocalypse or The Death of Superman. Though, if I'm being honest with myself, I may break that rule every now and again. I should also clarify, these episodes won't be an in-depth study of each issue. I'm no scholar, and I'm not going to pretend that I am. If you want to be taught a lesson, there are some really great shows out there that do just that. But frankly, that's not me. Don't get me wrong, I love those shows, and I'm super jealous that I have neither the mental faculties nor the patience to do all the research needed to create a show like that. I mean, we just have to embrace who we are, and I'm just another fanboy that loves reading and talking about comics. With Event Orr Else, each episode is going to be about 20 minutes long, and it's going to contain 3 segments. Segment number 1 is where I tell you what happens in the issue. Segment number 2 is called 3 Things to Dwell On. These are 3 moments in the book that I feel need to be given just a bit more thought and scrutiny. And then segment number 3 is the wrap up, where I tell you what I thought of the issue. That's it. That's what you can expect, folks. So starting next week, you'll get season 1 of Event Orr Else, starting with issue 1 of Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars. Then for the following 11 weeks, you'll get the next 11 episodes covering the next 11 issues. 12 episodes in all. Season 2 will cover Crisis on Infinite Earths from DC, and it's going to be 12 episodes. Season 3 will cover Secret Wars 2 for Marvel, and that's going to be 9 episodes, and so on, and so on, and so on. So buckle in, folks. Will I make it? Can I read all these books? Or am I going to crack up at some point down the line? Either way, it should make for a fun show. See you next week. I want to thank you for listening to this episode of Event Orr Else. Questions and comments can be directed to eventorelse@gmail.com. If you enjoyed the show, you can help to boost our presence online by leaving a rating or review on your favorite podcast app. I also invite you to join our subscription program, Steven Orr Else Beyond. And in return, you'll get episodes of Event Orr Else along with every other podcast under the Steven Orr Else umbrella, early and ad-free. Check out the link in the show notes or just go to eventorelse.com to join today. Event Orr Else is a presentation of Steven Orr Else Media. For more nerdy content just like this, check out stevenorelse.com.
just don't think I can move through life knowing that a guy named Steven did this to me.
How could you let this happen, Steven?
Your podcast sucks.
What's the next event?